we see men who are actually not in love with these women, and they think that uh because the women's biological clocks are ticking, they're actually doing the women a favor. The pressure is getting worse. And the people who will marry 1 week and come and be asking when you marry, are you okay?
Hi, loves. Welcome to my channel. I am Lerny Lomotey. You're here to feel the woman, the energy, the vibe, the sauce.
Hi. It's been so long I actually sat to record a YouTube video. The last time I remember recording a YouTube video, like a long length YouTube video, was about 8 months ago in July, specifically, I think. Yeah, in July. Should be in July, because since then I've just gotten some type of held up. And the days I'm free, I just want to rest, really. That's what it's been. I just had to sit and think through, do I really want to do this YouTube thing? I mean, I started years ago and I've been heavily inconsistent. Heavily. The stress is on heavily. Heavily in caps and in bold. But yeah, I've been doing some thinking through. I think I actually really want to do it now. Yeah. So we are going to talk about struggling as a 30-year-old without a husband and a child. It's a lot. It's crazy, I think, that everybody thinks they have an opinion. They can advise you on what to do and what not to do and all of that. But yeah, let's get talking. If this is your first time stopping by, kindly like, comment, share, subscribe. Okay, and let's do this. Okay, I'm honestly looking for whoever wrote it down that we should marry before or by 30. It's nowhere written. So it's just society that has managed to put that on us. But does society consider our happiness or not? Is it just about, you have to get married at this age? Is it just about um what do they say again? Your biological clock ticking. Is it just about that? Or is there something extra that we need to know? Because honestly, this whole thing confuses me. And this is coming from somebody who was almost married about 4 years ago. Now, 4 years later, I mean, and in these 4 years, sometimes I sit and think that, was I really ready to get married? I wasn't. Listen, because even now, I'm not so sure. Now, I say this because, people say that the older you get, the more sure you are of your options. It's not the same for everybody, right? You can be sure of your option of a spouse at 19 if you want to be. But then again, that's the thing. Everybody is different, and that's what society should understand. The fact that someone got married at 20, 21 doesn't mean everybody should get married at that age. When I was young, when I was a teenager, I legit wanted to get married at 19 because I read somewhere that Omotola, the actress, got married in her teens. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to do the same thing. But guess what? When I got to that age, I even forgot that I'm that age. It was later on, a friend of mine from secondary school was like, yo, what happened? I thought you said we were going to marry at 19, right? But like I said, everybody's path is different. And I think that's what society should understand and consider, that people would love to get married and stay in their marriages and be happy, have the peace of mind, be comfortable, be joyful with their partners. It's not your place to say when someone should marry or not. It's not your place, honestly. And the pressure, society just sort of pushes us into, certain relationships that we may not even be ready to be in just because you have to get married. We see women just, some women rushing into marriages because they have to be married by a certain age. We see men who are actually not in love with these women and they think that uh because the women's biological clocks are ticking, they're actually doing the women a favor by asking to marry them. And these marriages may or may not last. I'm just saying, like, no two situations are the same. You understand? I make reference to this constantly that our great grandparents and them, they didn't even know who they were going to get married to. You're just there, they bring you a woman or they bring you a man. This is your wife or this is your husband. Those marriages lasted. So, what's the difference then between those marriages that lasted and us who are dating 10, 15, 12, courting, dating and courting for years and years? We get into the marriage and then it's in shambles in months or in years. What is happening? What are we doing wrong? Let's not do that because then what happens is you put so much pressure on people. I am under no pressure at all at this point because one thing I say is I would prefer to even have a child and not be married than to be married to the wrong person and raise my children in such toxic environment. It wouldn't work for me that way, right? I just feel like when anyone is ready, they know they are ready, right? So the pressure, the pressure, the pressure is getting worse, which should not be the case. People asking, oh, won't you get married? Won't you have a child? You're 30, you should be married, you should have given birth by now. Listen, you can even get into a marriage, and if it's not your time to have a baby, you wouldn't have a baby, right? Same way, you can have a child, and if it's not your time to get married, you won't be married. The dynamics are always different because you can't have a child. You are either going to marry your baby daddy years down the line, or you're going to get married to somebody else totally, right? Which is fair, which is okay. The pressure just needs to stop. At what point as a society are we going to say, okay, when people are ready, they can marry? Like, hey, goodness. Honestly, me, at this point, when people ask, when will you marry, when will you give birth, I just laugh it off because I tried. I tried once and it didn't really work out how I wanted it to work out. Same way someone would try and it will work, right? But then again, like I said earlier, I don't even think I was ready then. And that I'm only saying that now because I'm looking back and I'm like, I've reached some form of maturity where I don't take certain things for granted. Like true relationships, honest relationships, knowing what you want as an adult is different. Imagine getting married at 20, right? The things I wanted at 20, I don't want them anymore now. Again, the dynamics are different for everybody. How I wanted to live my life at 20 is probably different now. Like I've reached some level of maturity now that I know I can beat my chest and say I like this in a man or I dislike this in a man. Like I can pinpoint certain things that I would not tolerate from a man. Years ago, maybe I was this way, but I wasn't. It wasn't this much. It wasn't this deep. I wasn't this deep into it. For me now, communication is everything. Like it's always been everything, but now I don't play. I don't play at all. Like it can be doing the worst, and I can just say it with my full chest. And there are people who will marry one week and come and be asking when you marry. Are you okay? No, really. Are you okay? You've just been married a week. You want to come and ask me when I'm getting married? Do better. You see, and if you go and say anything now, they'll say I'm only joking. But no, sometimes I feel like people say things they want to say. It's not because they are joking about it. You're asking me when I'm going to marry, and you're just 1 week in. Wait, and the people who think that they can start advising on marriage because they are 2 months married. Hello, hello, hello. Take your time. Take it easy. You understand? Because you've honestly really not seen anything yet. Like I mentioned earlier, I was almost married in 2019. That was my last relationship anyway. I feel like it's the things I tolerated back then, I won't tolerate now. On God. I want to be sure. Like, this is not the age where I want to do trial and error. Even if I do trial and error, I know that at least I was sure of the person to an extent, and then one or two things didn't go right. You get what I mean? Like, not exactly blocking anything off. If it happens, hooray, yay, everybody is happy. But if it doesn't happen, still hooray and yay. At this point in my life, prioritizing my peace of mind over anything else. So please stop asking such questions. It's not even a nice thing to be asking. And it's not everybody that takes it in well, right? You guys will be asking these questions, and the people who actually care and easily fall to pressure will just, get into the state where they are desperate for a husband. They want a child. If I get to an age where I feel like I need to have a baby, I feel like I'm ready, I will do that. Right? Again, the thing for me is I don't want my children to ever need or want anything, right? Because thankfully, as a child, I didn't want or need anything. So I don't want that for my children. Focus on you and what works for you. Because everybody's path, everybody's trajectory is really, truly, honestly different. Thing is, you can't really please everybody on this earth. Like, that's almost an impossibility to please everybody on this earth. Like, they push you into marriage, and then literally the next day, they are expecting you to be pregnant. And that's talking about womb watchers. You don't even know the struggles people are going through to even have babies. You think you want a baby more than the person who is in the marriage. Someone is married. You people will not even, you don't even know what the couple have planned for their lives. You don't know if they want to start having children immediately, if they want to wait a while before they start having children, if they are even financially sound to have children. All you people care about is they are married. So the next day you want to see the woman 9 months pregnant. There are actually people who don't want children. Like, they don't want to be married, they don't want children. So what do you make of that as well? And that's okay. That's okay. Like, I just feel like some people in society should just take their time, because guess what? You don't make the rules, right? You don't make the rules. There are people who don't want to have children, but they want to be married, and that's okay. There are people who want children, but they don't want to be married, and that's okay. There are people who want to be married and have children, and that's okay. There are people who don't want it at all, and that is also very okay. Let's just stop, doing this thing that we do of making people feel they are not enough, they are inadequate because they are not meeting society's expectations of who they should be and what they should be at a certain age. Some people are going through a lot. It's not your place to remind them that they need to have a child. It's not your place to remind them of their situation. At whatever time anything is supposed to happen for somebody, it will happen. And just be happy for the person. Let me do my eyeshadow and I'll be back, okay? I actually just remembered I didn't prime, but anyway, it's all well and good. I don't exactly remember where I left off, but let's not pretend that we are in perfect marriages, right? There's a lot of work to do when it comes to marriage, right? Let's not pretend that marriage is, the end all be all. Let's not pretend that, we are perfect in our marriages because nobody is perfect, right? And that is why there's a lot of compromise, I am told, when it comes to, being married and staying married. Some of you were even insisting that people have to be married by a certain age are not married because you got married probably before your 30s and then down the line you divorced. What sort of example are you to the people you're telling to be married by a certain age? Please just take it easy on whoever wants to take their own sweet time to make sure that they're making the right decision. And that's the thing, you can't ever be so sure you're making the right decision when it comes to marriage, like, because people change. People jumping into marriages because their parents are expecting something of them, because their parents have promised them that if you are married, I'm going to give you something. Do I know somebody like that? I think I've heard of someone who actually jumped into marriage because she was promised that if you get married, I'm going to give you A, I'm going to give you B. And the parent that promised her that is not even married because it couldn't even work between that parent and I think 3 or 4 other spouses. So look at you. What sort of example are you giving your child, right? You're pushing her into a marriage when you couldn't even stay in 3 or 4 marriages. What sort of example is that? I don't understand. It's annoying when these things happen. And to those of you who have been married for 1 week, 2 weeks, and think you can advise on marriage, do better. Don't make it seem as if your husband or your wife wasn't your second option. The shade. In conclusion, as a society, we should do better and be better and not force our ideologies and our thoughts and our could have been, should have been, would have been on anybody else, because then in the end everybody's path is different. So yes, the look is done and the chit chat is done. But this is how we end today's video. Thank you so much if you stuck to the end. And if you stuck to the end and you've not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and also click on the notification bell. My name, Lerny Lomotey. Thanks for watching. Fingers crossed, hopefully, I don't fall back and I stay consistent. But yes, thank you and also share this video. Also, let me know what you think on the topic of marriage and childbirth and societal pressure. I'll catch you in my next one, guys. Bye.
I am giving you an assignment to go look for me on social media. I'll see you in my next video, loves. Bye.